Hello, this is Steven now, and yes, we're back with another Batman 66 episode review. Today, we'll be reviewing the episode The Bird's Last Jest, which is part 2 in this Penguin adventure. So without further ado, let's get into the review. When we last saw Batman versing against the ill-omened Penguin, they end up in essentially are about to run into Penguin's ambush. However, thanks to their smart ingenuity and the use of the bat shield, they managed to save Chief O'Hara from being electrified by reversing the electromagneticness to essentially have the trunk be just shot out of the pool. And of course, because of the bat shield, they managed to use it to prevent them from being shot by the machine gun. And as a result, the Penguin's going to use up all the machine gun's bullets. When saving Chief O'Hara, they round up the Penguin and his crew and plan to send him to court. Whilst in court, the plan goes awry, and the Penguin uses his smart calculating words to get him out of trouble. Though he did plan to essentially be sent to prison, he found that the whole thing did not go how he expected and resulted in Batman and Robin dropping the case. As a result, Penguin is upset that he's still yet failed to go into prison. Batman has a plan to, of course, nab the bird of his counterfeiting scheme. This included Alfred to go undercover as the notorious Ballpoint Baxter, giving him fake fingerprints, and essentially make Penguin, trick him into confessing about his counterfeit caper. Now, it goes pretty much how you would expect. Alfred goes in, and Chief O'Hara is there saying, "Ballpoint, get out of the restaurant." The Penguin hears this, takes the supposed Ballpoint Baxter's glass, and uses it to check on fingerprints. Realizing the fingerprints are a match, he realizes this is indeed Ballpoint Baxter. Now, the Penguin goes to meet this Ballpoint Baxter and has a conversation. However, he soon realizes that he's met Ballpoint Baxter before. Realizing who it is, he then sprays knockout gas to knock him out, and essentially tells everyone in the restaurant to leave because of a sort of poison, and it immediately tells them to go to their nearest hospital immediately. So I really like, and it's in classic Penguin character. He then reveals to his crew who it is. It is Alfred, who he's encountered before. So this is some continuity that they're piecing together. However, this does beg the question: why would Batman send Alfred if he knew the Penguin would recognize him? I don't know. It's a question that goes over my head, honestly. As this is happening, the Penguin realized, then why would Bruce be stumbling into his scheme like this? But realize and coming into a conclusion that is because the fact he is running counterfeit ring, he wants to prevent it as well for his own reasons. Realizing this, he orders his henchmen to essentially make what he calls butler pie. Bruce Wayne and Batman realize something's odd. They then head to the restaurant, and as they get there, they realize the place is vacant, and they go into the kitchen, where the only thing they find is Alfred's bowler hat covered in essentially flour. We then cut back to Wayne Manor, where the Penguin and his crew and a giant pie are there, and they run into Aunt Harriet. Aunt Harriet then essentially frightens Aunt Harriet. Dick calls up Wayne Manor. Robin, as in his Dick Grayson persona, calls up Wayne Manor, and Alfred's on the phone. Penguin gets on the phone and tells him and Bruce to quickly get here now. Batman and Robin quickly rush to the Batcave, go up the bat poles back into their Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson persona, and come out, and then they come face to face with the Penguin and his crew. This then results in Penguin then demands some cash, and as a result, Bruce talks to going back to his study along with Dick. They then change back into their bat costume, come in and put a false story, and a bat fight breaks out. Now, what I love about it is Aunt Harriet and Alfred get on it, and it's really fun to see. Shows that just how tough these characters are. And of course, as usual, bat fights at this point in the episode, they end up coming out victorious. We then end the scene with Penguin and his crew about to be sent to the pen, but Bruce Wayne has secured a parole for a newest inmate, Ballpoint Baxter, to teach penmanship to underprivileged children. Penguin, with the funniest expression on his face, gets sent to prison, along with his crew. Bruce and Dick then walk out with Ballpoint Baxter for his new life as a new citizen. And that's where we end our episode, saying that next week, Batman and Robin were going up against the Catwoman. Everyone's kind of okay. I like the scene where Aunt Harriet and Alfred participate in the last bit of the bat fight. Found to be really entertainable and very enjoyable. Chief O'Hara being a part of a death trap is very interesting and different, and definitely plays a different spin. With Batman and Robin and that being still okay, still good as ever, not okay, I should rather say. And the scene where they go back and forth from being Batman, Robin, and Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson is all fun and hilarious for me. But of course, we need to talk about the main villain. Honestly, Burgess Meredith was making this episode so is honestly even worth watching. This two-parter. His performance is classic Penguin. And I like how as he's trying to get into prison, he's sort of making up stuff as he goes along in order to try and get into prison. But of course, he gets his comeuppance in a very fun and memorable way, which, causes me to, have a chuckle because of the whole incident. However, it should be noted the only reason to really watch this episode is purely because of Burgess Meredith's performance, as this is arguably a very weak story. Bird's Last Jest it's not a bad episode, but it feels incredibly weak. And I can't feel that this is not really a good episode compared to Burgess Meredith's arguably first outing. I don't know, there's just something about this that doesn't really gel right with me as a good story. However, like I said, there's some things to be taken. However, there are some good stuff to still be taken from this story, as, well, Penguin running a restaurant, although granted it's called the Penguin's Nest and not the Iceberg Lounge, but you can't help but wonder, did this inspire the Iceberg Lounge for later stories? I don't know, it's quite questionable. Either way, it's at least passable, and at least worth watching. And there we have it, The Bird's Last Jest, another okay to average episode with one of our series' best villains. But join us next time when Batman and Robin will be going up against the Catwoman, still played by Julie Newmar, so stick around for that. In the meantime, this has been the Steven Hour, and join us next time for the same Steven channel. So long for now.